Hello, Culture Matters podcast. Today's culture topic, culture content. If you follow me on Instagram, Doran underscore the culture man, you're seeing clips, short clips of different topics on culture, business, life. Today, I'm elaborating on one of them, which was this is what leaders get wrong about corporate culture. And what leaders get wrong about corporate culture are the bean bags and the pizza and the foosball, and the idea that that is even something that is good or bad or productive or unproductive. We're missing the mark. Why we're missing the mark is because that is an effect. It's a phenomenon. It's a manifestation. It's an outcome. It's an output. It's not an input. It's not a cause. Uh it's not enforced and then some type of output that we desire as management, as leadership, is 100% going to occur. Why this is important is because it's a self-awareness conversation. Why self-awareness is important in leadership and building a company is because it has a relationship with productivity. People don't want to work for tyrants. The very small percentage of people that work for tyrants that are going to be successful will do it, and they'll do it for a period of time until they can build their own tyranny, get out of that culture. The very large majority will be less productive working in a tyrannical system, in a system that they don't trust, in a system that they're not inspired by, in a system where they're siloed. And this matters for you and me and everyone listening to this, because life is not only less meaningful in those types of businesses, in those types of systems, it's less productive and we're less successful socially, emotionally, psychologically, financially. Add the ly. So this topic is of great importance because it's a human topic. It's a business topic. If you're in business, you just aspire to have business, listen very carefully. So what leaders get wrong about corporate culture is we think about the pizza parties, we think about the beanbag chairs, we think about fun, and we think about activities, or we think about core values. Instantiating them or implementing them is not going to have a 100% causal relationship with the output that we expect, which is buy-in, alignment, productivity, passion, purpose, etc., profit. When we have alignment, when we have identity, when we have a clear story, when we have engaged leadership, when we have sacrifice coming from the top of the organization, hierarchically, positionally, we have leadership in action, we have values being represented through the engagement of leaders, we have values being spoken because the conversations are open, the conversations are inclusive, it's safe for people to speak their minds, it's productive for people to speak their minds. There is teamwork because there is trust, there is safety, there is honesty, there is integrity, there is activity and engagement and responsibility. Coworkers, people naturally that build relationships organically and naturally around a cause, around a mission, around a clear vision of where they're going, around sacrificial leaders that embody the values, they will naturally want to hang out with one another. They will naturally have fun together. They will naturally throw a pizza party. They will naturally expense things on their dime. They will naturally be bought in. They will naturally say this is an awesome culture. They will feel like it's a family. It won't even need to be said, oh, we're a family, we're a family, we're a family, we're a family. Like that's saying that is all of a sudden going to get people close. No, it's people will naturally say that if we're already close. And some of the factors of that get us close are actually working. And what is part of work? It's sacrifice, it's vision, it's teaching, not just in speech, it's teaching in action, it's teaching in commitment. And when this is not happening at the top of the organization, positionally, from the CEO, the executives, when they don't have trust amongst one another, when it's unclear what they are supposed to be doing, when the dialogue is not inclusive and safe and clear and everyone is rowing in the same direction, the trust becomes diluted, it becomes siloed, and naturally an organization in the midst of an identity crisis, a cultural misalignment, will become top down, overemphasizing the responsibility of its people, of their labor, of how they need to do this or they need to do that. And they will not trust. It will backfire. It will, you could throw as many pizza parties as you like. So I think in our culture today, culture gets confused as the pizza parties, as the foosball tables, as the beanbag chairs, when those are a natural effect of the cause. Those are a natural outcome of the inputs, which are vision, strategy, engagement, sacrifice, actual work, like living the core values. No matter what core values people come up with, there tends to be patterns of um, there tends to be patterns or commonalities. The value of the values is acting out the values. The value of clarifying values is self-awareness. Where do we fall on this spectrum in our actual behaviors? When the organizations, especially like whoever the founder, if there's an active founder that's totally bought in, everybody knows. If they're not, everybody knows. The consequences are dire. Don't start a business if you're not willing to finish it. So I think in our culture, what gets confused are the aesthetics, are the outputs. They get confused with the inputs. Fun and beanbags and all these things and pizza parties will manifest naturally or organically as a consequence of winning, as a consequence of sacrifice, as a consequence of actually working and laboring and uh, feeling a part of something that actually has an identity that I can feel a part of it. The story is clear, the language is clear, the symbolism is clear, the leadership is actually there in real time. It's a real exciting place that's happening. And those things will naturally happen as a consequence. People will feel a part of something, their ideas will be shared, they'll be bought into it, they'll see upward mobility, they'll build friendships, they'll build relationships. Their relationships and friendships at work will be built on gossiping and slandering the organization based on probable truths, meaning, the people are having a side talk about the negatives of the organization because they're right and they're not being listened to. That's not where the relationships will be built. The relationships will be built around those people getting to know one another more deeply and being so excited and bought into the organization because their thoughts, feelings, emotions are a part of building and constructing the organization, and they feel safe to hash out things they don't agree with their leaders and with their directs and grow through those conflicts, and they won't need as much therapy. They have actual relationships, teamwork in the organization, and they're rowing in the same direction. And so, yeah, the pizza parties and the beanbags and all those things, those are fine. It depends. Are they an effect or a cause? Are they being used as a form of power to control the people? Is the intention of, putting them on to get people to do what those with more influence, authority, and power desire? Oh, let's throw a party and get everyone to do what we want or to like us so that they'll labor and we don't have to. When that's the case, below awareness, bad things happen. The disengaged leadership is not going to be able to pay someone enough to do their job when only they can do their job. And so that's a big blind spot. Corporate culture is about the invisible architecture that actually leads to organic outcomes like pizza parties and foosball tables and bean bags and things of that nature. It's not about social engineering. It's about understanding what leadership means, what sacrifices are necessary, the philosophy of the organization, the narrative, the symbols that represent its meaning that will come from the work ethic, the value exchange of the leaders that the people will see and feel and respect and admire and aspire to and naturally be a part of. And so this is what leaders get wrong. If we don't understand this, what happens? Boredom, anxiety, market loss, disruption of innovation or lack of innovation. We lose money, we lose friends, we lose partners, we end up in court, litigation, friendships are destroyed, partnerships destroyed, marriages destroyed, companies undermined and destroyed. People get distracted, and all of a sudden they built a company, they got to a certain level, very successful. Now they're doing something totally different because they're lost. They're in a crisis of culture, a crisis of identity, a crisis of leadership. Follow me at @JDuran_ the culture man on Instagram. You'll see clips of different topics around business, culture, life, etc. And I'm going to keep elaborating one by one on the Culture Matters podcast. Leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast, and we will see you next time.